Hello and welcome to day 3 of Romance Yourself, your 14-day journey to self-love and deepening your relationship to yourself. Today, I offer you a restorative yoga practice. Restorative yoga is one of the greatest ways to refill ourselves whenever we feel a little depleted. And that is exactly the intention of today's restorative practice, is to fill your own cup. Whenever our metaphorical cup is not filled, whenever we are feeling depleted, like we have little energy, like we don't have very much support, that will spill out into our other relationships and present itself as resentment, as bitterness. And it's really important to prioritize taking care of yourself before you go out into the world and start to give from within. Similarly, if we are not operating from a place of fulfillment, we can begin to ask a lot of other people in our lives, maybe more than what they are able to give. One of the things that yoga can teach us is how interdependent we are with our environment and with the other beings living in our environment with us. And whenever we come to that realization that we are interdependent with one another, it then becomes more important to be sure that as an individual, you are operating from a place of abundance, from a place of inner abundance, from a place of feeling energized, connected to yourself, calm, alert, so that we're not projecting onto other people or vice versa, taking from other people. So really, it's not so much that we don't want to be in that interdependent relationship with others. There definitely always will be a give and a take of energy, a receiving and a giving of energy. But we want to make those relationships as reciprocal and balanced as possible so that our community and our support system can thrive. All of the relationships outside of yourself start with the relationship to yourself and within yourself. And so for these reasons, today's affirmation that we'll be using is, I fill my own cup so that I may be a resource to others. Because this is a restorative yoga practice, I invite you to bring all of your props to your mat, and even beyond your yoga props, I invite you to bring more blankets, more pillows, because this practice today is all about restoring yourself. It's about resting. So just like yesterday, I want you to take some time now to get your space set up in a way that feels intentional and that feels special and that makes you feel at ease. That might be lighting a candle or lighting some incense. It might be dimming down the lights. Whatever it is that you feel that would make this time a little bit more special and feel like it's really 100% for you. Once you have all of your props gathered and you have your space set up, I'm going to show you how to set up in the restorative yoga pose that we'll be doing today, which is Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. And while you may not have some of these props and you may have to adjust accordingly, the priority in a restorative yoga practice is to feel 100% supported and 100% comfortable. So if you come into the pose and it feels like there's just, very little support, you're going to be in this pose for about 10 minutes today. So I really invite you to bring in everything that you have in your surrounding area to give you the support that you need. To get set up in Supta Baddha Konasana, you are going to start by taking 2 blocks and setting them at the top of your mat. One block is going to be on its highest setting, and the other block is going to be on its lowest setting. So you have like an L. And then you're going to bring your bolster on top of those at an incline. And you want to feel that it's mostly stable. Next, we'll set up head support. You're going to take a blanket that's folded into kind of this big rectangle or big square-ish shape. You're going to take two edges of your blanket and turn them in towards one another to the center of the blanket. And then you'll have something like this little triangle shape at the top. And then you're going to use the edge of that triangle there at the bottom and fold the blanket over on itself. So you're going to have something that looks a little bit like this. And you're setting that at the top of your mat. This is going to be your head support. It's at the top of your bolster, I mean. Lastly, you just need a couple of blankets, and then from there, it's just about filling in space where you want to be more supported. But you're going to just take those blankets, once again, I have them already folded in this kind of squarish or rectangle shape, and you're going to fold them over on each other one time so that you have a long rectangle, and then one more time so that you have a thick stacked blanket. You're going to do the same thing with the other blanket, folding it one time into a large rectangle, and then once again. Nice and thick. And those are just going to rest next to your mat for right now, and we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of grounding and a little bit of movement before we actually go into the first pose. So find a comfortable seat for yourself. Sit up tall through your spine. And start to lower your gaze or close your eyes. Soften into the muscles of your face. Soften the low belly. Allow your thighs to feel heavy. And bring your awareness to all of the parts of you touching your mat. Sense that you are in your own space with your own belongings, that you are safe in this space. Begin to draw your awareness into your body, sensing the awareness that lives within your body. Once again, sense that you are safe in this body. And then bring your awareness more so to your breath, noticing the rhythm of your breath. And start to exaggerate your breath a little bit, extending the inhales, lengthening out the exhales. Taking full or deeper breaths now. And go ahead and repeat your affirmation to yourself now. I fill my own cup so that I may be a resource for others. I fill my own cup so that I may be a resource for others. With this intention in mind, bring your palms together in front of your heart space, Anjali Mudra, recognizing the light within yourself and the light within others. And you can go ahead and open your eyes. Go ahead and bring the soles of your feet together and knees apart for butterfly. We'll do just a little bit of movement here. Let your legs be heavy. We're going to do a little exercise that helps the muscles of the legs relax. So you don't need to have anything underneath your legs. You're going to bring your hands underneath your thighs and your knees. And you're going to be pressing up on your knees with your hands, but at the same time pressing down on your hands with your legs. So it's a push and a push back. Go ahead and release if you had started already. Sit up tall, connect to your breath. Stay with your breath, and we'll begin. Pressing into your legs with your hands and pressing down into your hands with your legs. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then let the legs relax. Now bring your hands on top of your knees, on top of your thighs. And we're going to do the same thing but opposite. So you're going to be pressing down on your legs with your hands, but at the same time pressing up on your hands with your legs. So once again, soften if you had went ahead and started. Close your eyes, connect to your breath. And we'll begin. Begin to press down into your legs and press up with your legs. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Notice if your legs are starting to release that tension a little bit. You're going to do that one more time, going both ways. So let's bring the hands back underneath the legs, pressing down into the hands with the legs and up with the hands. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Going right back into that opposite pulling and pushing down with the hands, pulling up with the legs. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let the legs relax. Maybe bounce out the knees like little butterfly flutters. And then hold on to your ankles or your shins, just a little cat and cow from your seat here. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Maybe look up a little bit, tilt your tailbone back. Exhale, scoop your pelvis under, round your spine, drop your chin in towards your chest. Once again, breathe in, tilt the tailbone back, pull your heart forward, look up a little. Exhale, round your spine, scooping the pelvis under, dropping the head. One more, breathe in and breathe out. Inhale back to an upright seat, and we'll set up for your pose. So you already have the props set up at the top of your mat. Go ahead and come to recline over those props. You want to be sure that the short edge of your bolster is right up against your lower back and your sacrum. You might even press down on that edge so that you can feel yourself really getting close to that support. Go ahead and lower yourself down. Adjust your head support if you need to. Make sure that your head feels supported and comfortable. And then once you feel settled in the upper body, you feel like you don't need any more support, you've adjusted your props, go ahead and grab those 2 blankets, and you're going to bring them next to your legs so that you bring the soles of the feet back together, knees go apart from one another, and then the legs are being supported by the blankets. Begin to settle in, letting your arms just rest down beside you. Close your eyes. Once again, soften the muscles of your face, soften your belly, soften your lower body. Every inhale, breathing in this present moment. Every exhale, releasing the past. Coming back to your intention, your affirmation. I fill my own cup so that I may be a resource for others. Using this affirmation to remind you that you are self-sufficient. Everything that you need is already within you. All you really need to do is take the time to be. You want to come to a place of stillness. So if you're still adjusting your props, that's totally fine. But just know that you're adjusting to the point that you feel comfortable enough to be still. And then even once you find that place of comfort, maybe asking yourself if you could be 10% more comfortable, and whatever answer comes up from that, giving yourself that 10% more comfort. Whenever you feel like you've achieved that level of comfort that you're looking for, really start to settle into the stillness here, using your breath to anchor your mind. Anytime that your mind wanders away into thoughts, coming back to your affirmation and letting that guide you back to your practice and why you chose to be here today. The next time that you hear my voice, we'll transition out of this posture. Until then, give yourself complete permission to be as you are. There's nowhere for you to be but here right now. So enjoy your rest. remaining just as you are, begin to come back to your breath. Sense the supports beneath you. Sense the space around you. Begin to bring your awareness back into your body, noticing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly with the rhythm of your breath. Letting that gentle movement inspire you to start wiggling fingers and toes. And then to rotate your wrists. Maybe rock the head a little side to side. And then bring your hands underneath your thighs to help close your legs like a book. And we're going to come out of this restorative pose very gently and very mindfully, savoring this in-between space between waking and resting. So just reach down for that blanket that was over to your right and move it up so it's more so towards the top of your mat, towards your head. And you're going to start to roll onto your right side, letting yourself come onto your right elbow. And then lay your head down onto the blanket that you just moved up. Bend your knees in towards your body. And give yourself a few breaths here to feel the space behind your back, to feel the earth underneath your right side. And once again, just to honor this liminal space, the space in between. And then with as much ease as you can, you're going to press your left hand into the earth in front of you to help you raise up and make your way back to a comfortable seat. Sitting up tall whenever you get there, closing your eyes again, taking these last few breath cycles to reflect on your practice. Reminding yourself of your intention through repeating your affirmation one more time. I fill my own cup so that I may be a resource for others. With this in mind, bring your palms together in front of your heart again, Anjali Mudra, recognizing the light within and the light within others. We'll close by bowing our head towards our hands and saying, Namaste. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you feel restored and that this practice has served you. As always, I lovingly encourage you to stay on your mat a little bit longer if you have the time and to do the affirmation meditation included in this collection, but it's okay if you don't have the time today. There will always be time later. We will have several more of these restorative practices throughout our journey. Time for you to just reflect on the work that you're doing internally and externally, and above all else, to give yourself the gift of rest. Resting is an integral part of building a relationship to yourself. Sometimes we can get really caught up in all of the work, but rest is the time that you get to grow into the space that you're creating to become the best version of yourself. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.